Hey, you guys, thanks for listening in to this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Miss Julie with us. Hey, Miss Julie, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
So, I am the owner of Reawaken Your Brilliance, and I am passionate about supporting people in clearing clutter from all areas of their lives. So, many times people think it's just physical clutter, but it's so much more than that. So, I help people also get organized, do end of life organizing, and become more mindful and aware.
Awesome. So I'm glad we got you on the show today so we can actually talk about that. So, what is financial clutter?
I'm so glad that you talked about this and asked this question because it's so important. Now, to me, it's a variety of things. So it is going to be individual. What it might be clutter for you might be different than clutter for your mom, your sister, your neighbor. So it can be being in debt, not saving for retirement, having a mentality of lack instead of abundance, or a mentality of greed. I think that's just as harmful. Not knowing how much money you have, or not paying your bills on time, not investing in yourself, or investing in growing your money. And another thing that it can be is accepting others' versions of wealth, right? It is whatever wealth and financial health means to you.
Awesome. I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people don't consider that to be a mindset or to consider it to be clutter, but it is cluttering, whether you realize it or not, especially on the financial level. So, what are some tips that we can use to organize our paperwork to help us get rid of this so-called, financial clutter?
Sure. So the first thing I want to point out is why it's important to be organized, because I believe when you're organized and you've cleared your clutter, you're sending a signal to God, the universe, whatever your belief system is. You're saying, I can handle when you give me more abundance. I'm just not going to squander it. It's not going to get lost. You can trust me with more. I'm staying on top of it all. So just a couple quick tips: have a system to pay your bills, have a place where you keep your checkbooks. We'll get to electronic in a moment, like your stamps, all that. Keep that in one place. Organize your receipts. I don't know about you, as a small business owner, I'm going to get every write-off known to man. I'm going to make sure that I can get that. So have a system for saving your tax receipts. However it makes sense to you. You're going to have to take into account your lifestyle and how you do things. Just because it works for your friend, it might not work for you. Have a system to organize your health records, right? I've seen several items where people have been overcharged. And if you have a system for your explanation of benefits and everything, then you can cross-check that. When you send your check in, put your account number on it, or your on it, so that if it gets lost and separated, your bill will still be paid. You're also going to want to create a system for your filing. File if you were to go to retrieve something, what would you call it? And you're going to want to make sure you keep your filing categories broad. So for instance, I have 3. They're personal, business, and financial. That's it in my filing cabinets. Do titles that demand action. Create awesome podcast episodes might be one. And whatever you're using for your paper file, just use that for your filing on your computer as well. So that way it's going to be easier for you to maintain it because you already know your system. And then a couple for electronic, if you use things. Most companies, you can pay bills online now. Have a separate email account, like CoraccioBills@gmail.com. So and that's going to get in one account is bills, so that to check it, they're not going to get lost. Keep that organized in one area. Make regular payments. Maybe you pay bills at the end of the month, or maybe you pay bills twice a month, but get in the habit of doing bills at the same day and preferably at the same time. They've done surveys that show that if you do your routines at the same time and day, they go more quickly. Mint Bills is a free app to help you stay on top of your bills if you need a little more support. And File This can link all your accounts together. So kind of one-stop shopping for all your accounts. And then finally, have gratitude when paying your bills and any money that you receive. When I get a check, I always put a heart and say thank you. And someone once said to me, oh, well, they don't see it. And I said, yeah, but they can feel it. And I know I did it.
Awesome. Those are good tips. I tell some of my clients whenever we're doing a financial planning, if you can set set your stuff on auto pay. That's helpful. That way, just, have one checking account that you pay all your bills out of, and just set your stuff out on auto pay. And on certain days each month, you'll automatically get paid. You just need your only responsibility is just to make sure you have enough money in there so it can cover those bills. That's what I do, and I found that very, very helpful, instead of me trying to say, oh, I forgot to pay this or this, that, third. No, it's already on auto pay. Only thing I do every month, I calculate all my bills, how much money needs to be in this account to pay my bills, and there it is. And I found that to be helpful. And then that's too is another easy way for you to keep track of what you pay, because all your bills that you're paying is coming out of that one account. So you can go back to your statements and refer back to your statements. Okay, this came out on this day. This came out on this day. So I know it got paid. And just in case you run into an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So thank you for those tips, but how can we overcome possible roadblocks to financial freedom?
So first, become aware of what your blocks are. You can't change it if you don't know what it is. Are you someone that was raised with the belief that money is evil or rich people are bad? Do you have a scarcity mentality, or are you in debt? If you haven't saved for retirement, you don't know how much money you have, what's your definition of wealth? Whatever they are, become aware, okay, this is what my roadblock is. And then you're going to have to take action after that. So maybe it's switching your thinking. I deserve all the wealth that life offers me, coming up with affirmations or something, or it's taking a step and signing up for your company's retirement program. Whatever it is, become aware of what your block is, and then you take an action to undo that. And then finally, I'm a firm believer that no matter what your wealth situation is, to be healthy financially, have gratitude, let go of your resentments, and forgive not only other people, but yourself. I think that's equally as important.
It really is. I tell people forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. And a lot of times we are easier to forgive other people, but we're not as easy to forgive ourselves. And
exactly.
I'm a firm believer on forgiving yourself first, then move forward and forgive other people. So thank you once again, Ms. Julie, for being a guest on the show. So tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you. I'm going to share your social media handles, and you can also tell them if you're offering anything at this time that they might want to render. So let me share that stuff.
Great. Thank you. If they go to reawakenyourbrilliance.com, they can find out more information. I also have a 365-day journal prompt to clear your financial clutter. If you want a little more help, you work with Miss T here and she can help you, but this is another resource for you. And then I also do Keeping It Real, professional organizing and decluttering live classes with another organizer that are really affordable, because when you clear your clutter and organize, you're going to save time, money, and have peace of mind.
Awesome. You guys make sure you check some of her things out that she listed. And she just said, I feel like they will be very highly helpful for you guys if you look into it. If you guys want to reach out to me, my number is 910-317-0396. You can shoot me an email at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation on my website at www.mjfinancial.biz. Even if you want to schedule anything about financial planning, how to get on the right track, you can do that on the website. You can find this episode, you guys, on Anchor, and you can also find the playback for this video on the YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much, Ms. Julie, for being a guest on the show. I highly appreciate you today, giving us helpful tips on how to declutter when it comes to our finances.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for sharing the gift of this podcast to help people.
And thank you. And you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.